Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Diane. Today I'm sharing with you my diary entry for the week of June 2nd to the 8th. Today is Saturday, June 8th. So we've come to that time of the year where the fans are going to be on all the time. It is getting awfully hot here. If you know me, you know that this is not my most favorite time of year. In fact, it is my least favorite. And that's putting it nicely. Time of year. And so, yes, I just get really sick. I get really nauseous when it's too hot. And so I know I'm probably living in the wrong area, but it is what it is. And so, yeah, I'll eventually get through it. But yeah, it's been kind of a normal week. We've just been up to the same old stuff, but I have gotten a lot of reading done this week. I am participating in my friend Bazaar Individuals LGBT plus manga readathon, and so I've got several volumes to talk to you about for that. I did also finish a novel, so I'll talk to you about that. I'll have a Yarnie update for you, and we'll catch you up with what we did this week at the end. So let's get into it. So I guess I will start off with the novel. And so, yeah, I finished Hopeless Magic, which is the second book in the Star-Crossed series by Rachel Higginson. This is basically a story about a girl who was kind of adopted when she was a baby and grew up human. And then she's now in her second to the last year, I think, of high school. And she's just been having a rough time of it over the last year. Like, she, for whatever reason, every school that she's been to has done something destructive to it, and she doesn't even know how it happened. And so she lands at this other school, and it's kind of like her last chance. She's almost done with school. She just got to get through the last part. And so she really doesn't want to mess things up. Well, turns out that the whole reason why there's been so much destruction around her is because she has magic. Magic she never knew she had. And it's also magic she doesn't know how to control. And so the story is about her finding that out, learning how to control her magic, what her magic even is, and also learning about the kind of politics that goes on in the magical society, what kinds of other magical beings there are, and things like that. So pretty much the story is now turned into like a politics play. There is a royal family in this series as far as the magic community goes, and there's some things going on with that. And yeah, it was interesting. It's very, very teen, though. There was a lot of teen drama. I would say that the romance that occurs in this series so far has been on the cringier side. It's almost like these kids like can't be apart from each other for more than 2 seconds. It's like pretty cringy. And so, yeah. Also, I don't know, I'm just not really convinced of the romance from one of the sides. Like, I get the romance from one side of the couple, but the other side, I'm not really convinced. There's also something that happened, though, at the end of the second book that kind of, like, throws everything out of whack with the characters, with the story, and now I'm really, really interested in getting to the next one to see what's going to happen. But that won't be until July, because there are definitely some LGBTQ plus manga and novels that I'd like to read this month, since it is Pride Month. So I ended up giving Hopeless Magic 3.5 stars. The rating kind of went down from the first one just because the romance got so cringy. I mean, it was a little bit cringy in the first one, if I'm honest, but it was even more cringy in this one. But, you know, there were a lot of other things that happened, but I feel like a real large focus of this particular second installment had to do with that the romance elements. And so because it took such a bigger part of the story, I had to knock down the rating a little bit. But I'm still really enjoying the world. I'm enjoying this journey our main character's on, as long as she is not like pining for her boyfriend. And so, yeah. So that was the only novel that I finished this week. Everything else I finished has been manga, and it's for the LGBT plus manga readathon. It's being hosted by my friend Bizarre Individual. Again, I'll link Bizarre's announcement video down in the description box below in case you're interested. So I do have Hoopla as part of the offerings that my local library offers as part of a library membership. And so what I did was at the end of May, at the very last day, I used up the rest of my Hoopla credits for May, and I borrowed a whole bunch of titles, manga titles that were available on Hoopla. They're all Tokyo Pop titles, and I find that a lot of the times with Tokyo Pop titles, it's more miss than hit for me, so it's good for me to like borrow them from my library first and then buy afterwards if I really enjoyed it. And so it's a really good opportunity for me to do that with Hoopla, because the extent of the offerings they have, especially from Tokyo Pop, is large. They're now starting to offer Kodansha titles as well as Denpa and Kuma, I think. And so there's a lot of manga on Hoopla. So if you haven't ever looked at the manga offerings on Hoopla, I definitely suggest that you do. They don't have everything, but they have quite a bit, especially from Tokyo Pop. So, yeah, all of the titles I read were from Tokyo Pop, including the 2 physical copies that I read from my collection. So let me talk to you about those first. So I read volumes 3 and volumes 4 of Our Not So Lonely Planet Travel Guide by Mone Sorai, published by Tokyo Pop, rated teen. So Tokyo Pop has like I wouldn't say it's an imprint, because the publisher is still Tokyo Pop, but they have like a section of their manga which they call the Love collection. And so when they're part of that collection, you can see the symbols here that tell you what type of romance it is. And so this is a male title, and it's about our 2 characters here on the cover. They're in a romantic relationship, and they decide that they're going to go and explore the world, and when they're done, they will get married. And so we follow this couple going to all of these different places, and at the back of each of these volumes, it tells you like where they're going in that volume. And so volume 3, they visited Spain, the Sahara Desert, Morocco, and the United Kingdom. And in volume 4, they visited Argentina, Bolivia, Rio de Janeiro, and Corcovado. And so it's really interesting because a lot of what is shown to you is food. And so you get to see all the different types of dishes from around the world, and they explain to you what's in those dishes. And then they meet a whole bunch of people along the way. They make new friends, but they also navigate the fact that they're a same-sex couple. And so it tells you like in which countries that is illegal. And so they need to be very careful about their relationship in public and things like that. But I really have been enjoying following this couple around the world and all of the adventures they go on. There's lots of places that have very recognizable monuments and things, like Rio de Janeiro. I mean, if you've watched the Olympics at all, you know that statue. I think that was probably the first time I had seen that statue, to be honest. And so, yeah, lots of interesting foods. They do lots of sightseeing, and I really enjoy their conversations with friends that they've met along the way. And so it's been really interesting to watch their travels. I believe volume 5 comes out at the end of this month, so I will be picking that up. But yes, really, really enjoying the series so far. Gave both of these 4 stars. And then the rest of the volumes I actually borrowed from Hoopla. And so I have my little Tokyo Pop website up so that I can tell you about the age ratings and all of that, because on Hoopla it doesn't really give you those. It gives you a rating, but I don't know what those ratings mean. And so it's better if I just go to the Tokyo Pop website and tell you what it is. So not in the order that I read it, but I read Puppy Love, which I just finished this morning. This is by Tsuchida Haru. And this one is rated 16 plus or older teen. This one follows a overworked office man, and he is just really run down. He works 2 weeks straight, and he's just finally got his first day off in 2 weeks. And he goes to what I believe is like a mall to like grab some dinner. And he's like really excited because he's finally got a day off. And there's a little like pet shop in the mall, and he stops and he's looking in the window, and there's this like cute little puppy in the window. And then he starts talking to one of the clerks there and starts to strike up a friendship. Well, this clerk eventually tells him, in my past life, I was the little dog that you had saved, and I've been looking for you because I want to pay back your kindness. And that kind of like throws their whole like friendship out of whack and stuff like that. And so it just kind of follows the relationship of these two guys up to that revelation, and then what happens after that. It was really, really cute. You can tell from the cover that the dog is also very cute. And so, yes, very cute. I'm kind of confused a little bit about the rating that they're giving this, because it was pretty clean. I would say, if anything, there is one panel that is maybe why it's got the rating, but I mean, it's literally one panel. You don't see anything. And the only thing that I would say is like really probably the reason why it's got an older teen rating was because there are sound effects written out on the panel, but you don't see anything. You don't see anything. And so, yeah, I was a little bit confused when I saw that this was rated 16 plus. But for the most part, except for that one panel, which I think is why, it was very clean. It was a very clean story. And so, yes, I am considering purchasing this one for my collection. It was very cute. I like the art style a lot, and the dog is absolutely adorable. So yeah, that one may be being added to my collection. So I gave this one 4 stars. I also read The God and the Flightless Messenger by Hagi. This one is rated ages 13 plus, which is teen. So this follows a guy who has been born with wings that are very small. And because they're small, he's unable to fly. And so he gets bullied a lot by the people in his community, because where he lives is a place where there are a lot of gods, and people get assigned to gods to like serve them, like, you know, help them with their things and whatever. I guess that's why they're called their messenger, right? They do things for them. But there's this like thought that he can't do anything because he can't fly. And, you know, because he gets bullied and stuff, he lashes out, he causes trouble. Well, anyway, he one day gets assigned to be the messenger of a god. And it kind of sets him on a journey, not on self-discovery, but on kind of regaining memories. And I think that's all I'm going to say. This was good. I did give it 4 stars. The god that he gets assigned to kind of looks like a Chuzzle when you meet him. If you know Chuzzle, the kind of puzzle game, he kind of looks like that. It was kind of funny. But it was a sweet story, and it's got a little bit of a historical feel just because it has to do with like mythology and things like that. while I enjoyed it and I did give it 4 stars, I don't think this one is going to join my collection, just because it does show that, the bullying, and there's another thing that happens in the story that's kind of upsetting, and just with the way that the story went, it's one of those tropes that I don't particularly care for, but the story was good. I was entertained. But I don't think that it's one that I'll be wanting to read over and over and over again. And so I don't think this one is going to join my collection. But I did enjoy it. I also read Cut Over Criteria. This one is by Koala Omugi. This one is rated ages 18 plus, which is mature. So this is an office co-worker romance. So it follows a guy who's a supervisor of a software development team. And he's just coming back from vacation. He's kind of starting to look at his life because he's turned 30, and he's just kind of like, well, once you turn 30, you can't do certain things, because of age and things like that. And so anyway, he comes back from his vacation, and he's a very capable guy. And he comes into pretty much what has become a mess in the office. The project that they've been working on is just messed up to the nth degree. And so he's like, why didn't you call me? And, all of this stuff. And they tried to not bother him. And it's just a big mess. So anyway, he starts getting to work right away and realizes that there has been a new hire to the team while he's been on vacation. And it's this 21-year-old guy. That guy kind of falls head over heels at first sight. And so the story kind of follows our team lead being pursued by his younger co-worker. And I thought it was really cute. This one is very spicy. The art style is really nice. I really enjoyed the art style. And I enjoyed that we pretty much follow a full progression to a relationship between these two. And I enjoyed it a lot. I gave it 4 stars. This one will probably be added to my collection. Yeah, really, really interesting. Another one that will probably be added to my collection I just read last night, and that was Snow Fairy. This one is by Tomo Serizawa. This one is rated ages 13 plus, and so that is teen. So this one follows a guy who runs a farm. He's a younger guy. And he's driving back from a delivery, and he sees a car that's pulled off to the side of the road that has been buried in snow. And so he immediately thinks, oh my gosh, did something happen to them? He pulls over. It's really cold where he is. And so he's really concerned about what may have happened to the driver of the vehicle. And so he pulls over, gets out, takes a look, and there's nobody in the car. So he starts to look around to see, okay, maybe they got out of the car to look for help. Maybe they're in trouble. And he sees a guy standing in a field. And so he calls out to him. And it turns out that the guy is a nature photographer. And he's out there trying to get some photos for his next publication. And he's been kind of slumming it out in a tent. And so like I said, it's really cold. There's lots of snow. And so he's like, hey, do you know your car's buried in the snow over there? And he's like, oh my gosh. And so they work together to uncover the vehicle. And then turns out this guy doesn't have any place to stay because the next town over is a really touristy area and they're all booked up. And so he's like, well, I guess I'll just sleep in my car or whatever. And so the farmer offers to let him stay at his house. And so it's kind of close proximity type of a romance. And it's kind of a slow burn romance. It was very clean, very cute. There's a little bit of a sadness in regards to our farmer's backstory that you get told during the progression of the story. But I really, really enjoyed this one. Like I said, it'll probably be added to my collection I enjoyed the art style a lot. The story is very sweet. I also gave this one 4 stars. And then the last of the volumes I read was the very first one I read from Hoopla, and that one is called Delivery for You. This one is by Teku Ren and is rated ages 18 plus, which is mature. This one is about a guy who is kind of unsure of what he wants to do in life. He just really enjoys his alone time, and he's working part-time at like not a laundromat, but like a dry cleaning business. It's a small family-run dry cleaning business, and the owner is an elderly woman, and so he's basically just her only helper type of thing. And so he, like I said, really enjoys his alone time, and he also enjoys collecting like otaku merch. And so he's been ordering stuff to it's called Namazon in the manga, and anyway, he ends up falling for his delivery driver. And so it is a story about them and how they get to know each other and things like that. This one was cute also. Definitely had an element that I wasn't expecting in regards to the delivery driver story, and then something that gets revealed towards the end of this volume. But I enjoyed this one. It was also very cute. I don't think that I will be adding this one to my collection, though. But I'm glad that I read it. And like I said, it was cute, it was fun, and I enjoyed it. And so that is everything that I have read this week. So I do plan on continuing with more LGBT plus manga. Probably more physical copies for my collection, though, over the next week. Because I think I'm going to save my Hoopla credits for this month for more towards the end of the month. I do have one more title that I have out from Hoopla, but it's the first in a series, and the library doesn't have the rest of the volumes that are out on Hoopla right now. So I kind of want to read it closer to when we're going to be going to the store for the manga club meeting, so that if I really like it, I can purchase the other 2 volumes so that I can continue with the series. So I do have one more volume out. But I think I'm going to focus on my physical titles. So all of those titles you saw in my diary entry from last week, I'm going to pick and choose from there. And then I am also in the middle of my next audiobook, which is Criminal Intention Season 1, Episode 5, which is It's Witchcraft. This one is by Cole McCade. So this is that story about our 2 queer detectives who solve pretty gruesome murder cases. I really enjoy the series. Really, really enjoy the series. It's very much in the line of Criminal Minds, the TV show. So if you like that type of story, you will definitely like this series. There is definitely some steam between our 2 male detectives. In fact, in this volume, it gets very steamy. Steamy, but not sexual. So you can definitely feel the heat between our 2 characters. Up to where I am right now, we are still learning more and more about our 2 main characters, about their backstories, and things like that. And I just really enjoy it. This particular case that they're working, all of these, what do they call it, episodes, start off with the murder taking place. So very much like, Law and Order, or like I said, Criminal Minds, where it shows you what happens to the victim, and then you follow the detectives working the case. And so this particular one is pretty gruesome. It's a body has been found in a hotel, and all of the organs are outside of the body. And so, yes, pretty gruesome scene. I would say this one and the murder that's in the very first episode are probably the worst ones as far as graphicness, because the first one is the body is kind of left in a similar state, not the same, but similar. And so, yeah, really enjoying this series so far. I am more than halfway done with this episode, and I'm really enjoying it. And so, yeah. Our two characters just had a heart-to-heart, learning more about each other and sharing more personal details about their pasts, and it was really, really good. And so I'm looking forward to continuing with that episode over the next week. And then, yeah, that's pretty much all of my plans. I'm not sure yet what my next audiobook is going to be. I forgot to tell you that I was listening to this on audiobook. But yeah, I have several audiobooks lined up that I do want to listen to. I'm just not sure which one I'm going to want to listen to after I'm done with this one. But I'll definitely be picking up a new audiobook over the next week. And then, like I said, I'll be picking and choosing from my stack of physical manga volumes to read from over the next week. So, yeah, that is everything that I have read over the last week. Everything that I'm in the middle of. And so I guess that brings us to another Yarnie update. And so I'm being very monogamous again. And I've only worked on my niece's mini Last Unicorn sweater. So it's in my Small World bag, which my mom made for me. And so this is what we've got. So I was here the last time that I showed this to you. And I have finished the body. And so, yeah, very, very happy so far. It's looking really, really nice. And you can see that I have started on the sleeve. And so it's going well. I'm very happy with how it looks so far. And so, yeah, we'll see where I am the next time I talk to you. But there is definitely some puckering going on with my color work here. So I'm definitely going to have to stretch it out a little bit when I block it. It is acrylic, so it's probably not going to do much, but I just like it to be a little bit more even. But yeah, I think it's looking good so far. I'm really, really happy with this. I think the length is going to be good too for my niece. If it's too long, she'll grow into it. I mean, I think there's going to be plenty of room still. I think, or at least I hope, that she'll really enjoy this. So, working on that right now. I almost cast on her sister's one instead of working on hers, which is going to be the same sweater, except it's going to be a different color. Just so that I had something a little bit different, because that will give me, the color work and all of this stuff to do. While I'm going round and round and round just doing plain stockinette, just to give me something with a little bit more interest, So I may do that, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm trying to just stay monogamous to this though, because when you're monogamous with a project, it goes faster, right? Because you're just working on one thing. But yeah, I don't know. I'm still enjoying this project though. And it's small enough where even though it's getting much hotter, it's not a lot of fabric because it's such a tiny piece, because it's a kid's sweater, that it wouldn't bother me as much as if I was working on an adult sweater, for myself. That would lay all over my lap. But this one is nice and small. And so, yeah, I am very happy with this project so far. Again, it is the mini Last Unicorn sweater by Meghan Regan of Bad Wolf Girl Studios. And yeah, there are two different entries on Ravelry for this. There's just the mini Last Unicorn, which is the kids version of this sweater. And then you have the Last Unicorn, which is a combo pattern, which is the one that I have, that has adult sizes as well as kid sizes in there. And so, yeah, I have that one. I may make one of these for myself. In fact, it may look very similar to my younger niece's one if I do, just because that's my color. And so, yeah, I was very happy when my youngest niece was like, oh yeah, my favorite color is turquoise. I'm like, that's your auntie's favorite color too. So it's pretty funny because when I was like their age, my favorite colors were pink and turquoise. And so their favorite colors individually are pink and turquoise. So I'm a proud auntie. But yeah, I really hope that they enjoy these sweaters. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to giving it to them when they are done. But I'm working right along, and we'll see how much I get done by the time I talk to you next. But that's really the only thing that I have been working on, has been this sweater. I was able to talk myself out of casting on summer tea for myself. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be able to do that, though, because like I said, it is getting very hot. You might be able to hear my fans going right now because I have more than one on. It is that warm. My house does retain heat pretty badly, and so while it may be slightly cooler outside, my house is not comfortable right now. So yeah. Anyway, I'm enjoying what I'm working on. I've been enjoying what I've been reading. I haven't updated my bingo board yet for the LGBT plus manga readathon, but I'll probably be doing that on a weekly basis instead of day to day, just because I just can't update on my phone, and it's just so much easier if I have my computer. And so yeah, weekly is probably going to work better for me. So if you're interested in seeing what I'm reading for that and the bingo board, how I complete that, you can check out my Instagram. On Tuesday, we went to go see the Dumpster Battle movie again. It was very, very good. I don't know. There's just something about that series that really like touches my heartstrings and makes me keep wanting to watch it over and over and over again. And so if that's not a sign of a good series, I don't know what is. And so yes, it was very enjoyable, and it will definitely be one that we'll be adding to our collection. We do own all of what is out on Haikyuu right now, and I think we are going to double dip and purchase the omnibus editions of the manga when those are released as well. But yeah, there's just something about it. I really, really enjoyed it. And so we did that. Other than that, it's been kind of same old over here. We caught up with all the anime we were watching. So that is Tadaima Okaeri, which is a BL kind of slice of life romance anime with very, very cute babies in it. Vampire Dormitory, which is about a girl who is cross-dressing because she's homeless, and it's much easier to present as male and much safer. And then she gets picked up by a vampire to become his thrall, thinking that she is male because he doesn't drink from females. And so it's kind of a kind of school romance with vampires. It's interesting. There is a manga. I have read a couple of the volumes. I have it digitally. I don't own them physically, even though they are available physically right now. When I started reading it, it was only available digitally. So I've collected it digitally, and I think I'm only missing one volume. But yeah, it's entertaining. It's not the best thing in the world, but something just happened in the last episode that we watched that was like, wait, what just happened? And so I'm looking forward to seeing how all of that turns out. My daughter really likes one of the voice actors that's on cast for that anime as well. And so even though it's not something that she'd normally watch, she's watching because of that one voice actor and would like to see what happens with that voice actor's character. We caught up with Black Butler, which is a story about a young teen named CL Phantom Hive who has one hell of a butler named Sebastian, and they go on missions and things, figure out mysteries, and they're currently on an investigation for the Queen, and it's within a school, and so it's again a kind of elite this time school setting where they dorm and things like that, but only like rich kids go to that school. There's something going on with some of the students. And so we're really enjoying this season of Black Butler as well. We're all caught up. And then I think the last thing that we caught up on was Sound Euphonium Season 3, which is a story about a high school band. We really enjoyed Season 1 and Season 2, as well as the movie that was released. We went to go watch it in the movie theater when it was out. But there's just something about this particular season, the current season that's airing, that I'm not enjoying. There's a lot of discourse between the band members and the decisions the band director is making and things like that. They're like really going hard on trying to get to nationals. And so there are things that are occurring, decisions that are being made that are affecting a lot of people. And there's a lot of discourse. This last episode that we just watched was really bad as far as the discourse goes, and some things were said that probably shouldn't have been said between friends. And so, yeah, I'm just not enjoying the season as much. But Sound Euphonium is very, very close to things that have happened in my personal life as far as being a part of a band. My daughter's even gone through some of the stuff that we've seen. And so we can relate to a lot of the things that happen in that series because we've lived it. And so, yeah, while I'm not enjoying the season, I did enjoy the rest of the season. So I think it's just, you know, with how competitive this year they want to be, and it's showcasing a lot more of the story, personal stories of the characters, as opposed to being things that are happening in the music program. So yeah, I think though we're at that point now where they're really like starting to hit the ground running with going into competition season. And so we'll get a lot more of what I truly enjoy about the series, which is the music. There hasn't been a lot of playing up until this point. And so now we're going to get a lot more of that. And that kind of started in this last episode. And so, yeah. Other than that, we're all caught up with our US TV shows, which are now on hiatus until the next season. And then Criminal Minds Evolution, I think, is the one that's out now. Just came back. So we watched the first 2 episodes. Really, really enjoyed it. Again, very gruesome, though. So I think that's pretty much all we've been up to. So it's quite a lot, huh? Even though I'm like, oh yeah, we're just doing the same old, same old. Which pretty much is the same old, same old. I mean, we watch a lot of shows. I read a lot. I've been crafting. And so, yeah. I guess the other TV show that we just finished last night was Cold Case Files. DNA Speaks or something like that. It's a spin-off of the Cold Case Files TV show, which is a true crime TV series about cold cases and them being solved. Lots of domestic violence cases, which is very, very sad. But it's lots of interesting, like, cases. And so I do really like to watch them because there's lots of good information about just, you know, things that happen in the court system or cases or things like that. And so, yeah, always a point of interest for me. But yeah, that's everything that I've been up to, everything I've read, everything I've watched, everything I've worked on. So let me know down in the comments below what you've been up to. Are you participating in the LGBT manga readathon? If you are, what have you read? Have you read any of the titles that I read? If so, let me know what you thought of them, but please no spoilers in case others would like to read them. And if nothing else, and you'd just like to let me know that you were here, if you could leave me a rainbow emoji down in the comments below, that would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out. And that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.